Astana, the host of Expo 2017, is preparing full swing for the exposition. Organizers, the government, experts from the more than 100 countries will present their own visions of the future energy. Top news in the eve of mega event Astana Expo 2017. International Specialized Exposition Astana Expo 2017 sets research in several directions. How to arrive to more sustainable development of energy sector, what new technologies can help reaching it, how to foster more responsible attitude toward energy consumption. Lastly, where to take energy from to supply it for everyone in the world. The last question has been receiving the same answer already for 3 decades from eco-gastronomic movement Slow Food, from nutrition. An unhurried, deliberate and healthy one. Slow food emerged in Italy as a response to increasingly growing cult of fast food and the rising pace of living in 1989. However, the philosophy of the movement is more profound. I always look at slow food movement from a global perspective in terms of preserving biodiversity, if it is so to be preserved. Because environment is a fragile thing, in which extinction of one species will necessarily lead to extinction of other species. Yes, and slow food is one of the directions of developing ecological tourism, because it will contribute to the preservation of biodiversity. At present, the movement covers more than 150 countries around the world and has around 100,000 members. Since 2008, the affiliations of this organization have opened in Kazakhstan. Almaty, Akmola region, Aktau, Shymkent, as well as the young wing of Astana are actively promoting sustainable farming and preservation of the best traditions of Kazakh animal husbandry, taking into account modern conditions, increasing local production, preserving and recovering recipes of the national cuisine. An essential part of nomad culture is consumption of saumal, which is translating from Kazakh means fresh horse milk, the healing properties of which are known far beyond the borders of our country.
In the
early 1950s, when the roads were being built, one German man that was a captive had contracted tuberculosis and was expelled from the camp. He was found by Kazakh herdsmen and was treated with horse milk. He built a horse farm in Germany and passed it on to his son-in-law Hans Solman. Since then, Hans Solman has introduced sublimation technology into horse milk production. He realized that horse milk quickly loses its healing properties, and that was the only technology that helped to preserve those properties and increase the shelf life of this product. Note that the sublimation process involves freezing of the product with subsequent drying. This way, out of 200 liters of fresh milk, 19 kilograms are sent to the shelves, which leaves out less than 10%. Another important point is the breed of the horses. Kazakh Jibe is a perfect breed for saumal production, thanks to its stamina in conditions of highly continental climate of Kazakhstan. However, in our country, not only does the breed have special value, but also does the animal itself. Since the ancient times, a horse considered to be the cleanest and noblest animal, a symbol of spirit, health and strength.
Данный продукт является лидером по количеству витамина С. Vitamin C, он показывает сопротивление.
This product is a leader in terms of quantity of vitamin C. This vitamin helps to combat viruses, bacteria, etc. The given product has around 40 different vitamins such as A1, B1, etc. Also, it is packed with amino acids and has perfect proportion of calcium and phosphorus, 2:1, the same as in the human skeleton. I also want to note that in the course of the history of our people, drinking horse milk, we knew what it was, and Kazakhs themselves have a certain genetic memory to this product. Thus, drinking a glass of horse milk, our organism easily digests it.
Стакан молока кобыльего, наш организм легче его усваивает.
Such traditional products are widely spread in Kazakhstan, and it is highly important that the transfer of culture, customs, and traditions of Kazakh people did not end at the young generation. This aim is set by the Slow Food Organization on an international scale. In its project Arc of Taste, the movement gathers original gastronomic values of the peoples around the world. Note that Kospa, Gent, Talkan, Kurd, Karakul, Siver's apple tree have a place of honor in the Ark of Taste.
Ковчег вкуса, он направлен на то, чтобы сохранять все исчезающие.
In other words, Ark of Taste is directed at preservation of all disappearing recipes, seeds and plants, etc. The recipes of traditional cuisine will integrate the breeds of animals that are going extinct that were previously well adapted to the region and were popular in agriculture, and which unfortunately are not in high demand today.
Не так востребованы. Самый яркий пример – это алматинское яблоко апорт. Любой продукт, который...
A good example for this is Almaty Aport apple. We used to eat it often in our childhood, but it is no longer present now, or it has a different taste.
Качество не то. Это вот как раз-таки те потерянные рецепты приготовления.
At the most important event of slow food, the International Forum Terra Madre, once in 2 years producers and farmers from across the world share their gastronomic advantages. Here they discuss issues concerning food waste, famine, agricultural policies, resource management, and labor condition in food industry. In 2015, at the World Exposition in Milan, with the theme Feeding the Planet, Slow Food presented its solutions concerning food security and delivered message from young farmers and producers. Today around the whole world, the company's accelerators are at the peak of popularity. Their main functions are mentorship, education, expert support, and search for investors for startups. To find promising projects, business accelerators periodically launch various contests in which they select best of the best. As a rule, the geography of such cooperation is not limited by the country of company's placement. Instead, it has international scope.
I had a look at all the investment flows over the last period of time, a short period of time. Where does the money go to? If you look worldwide, it is interesting to know that 2/3 of all the money that was invested last year in power industry went into renewable power. 2/3, so it's a big majority of that. And if you look at where that money is being spent, some people do expect that money to go to, for instance, Germany, because they are very active. But no, it's actually, if you look at solar energy, it's China that has invested the most. 30% of all the investments last year that went into solar were done in China. And for wind, it's even more, because almost 50% of all the investment in 2015 into wind energy were done in China. So China is a leader in investments in building capacity for renewable energy.
Note that at present China is the largest energy consumer in the world. Due to this fact, China is aiming to reach 15% energy generation from the renewable sources by 2020. However, by this time, it is assumed that more than 60% of the whole energy in the country will be produced from coal. Therefore, currently, the country tries to increase its share of clean energy with help of solar and wind energy, which by itself implies a growth of investment into this sector. Out of this arises the demand in mentors in business environment for fragile startups who know how to make a business prosper.
The success for energy companies or startup companies in energy is not very different from any startup. We think that actually 2 or 3 things are really crucial. One is have a good team, a team that is not just only technicians, but has different capacities in the team that allow us to build a company, also commercial capacity. So team is very important. Some traction, so that you can show that actually customers really have an interest in your product, not just by thinking they have, but really investigating and exploring that and finding out whether that's right, we also think is very true. And finally, of course, the product and the proposition needs to be new. It needs to be innovative, it needs to be a change.
According to the words of Mr. Bishop, such projects he hopes to see at the upcoming exposition, which changes impression of Kazakhstan in the West that characterize the country that uses only traditional sources of energy. 11th Innovative Congress was held in Astana, in which local and international experts, state officials, representatives of national holdings and development institutions have taken part. This year, the Congress was dedicated to innovations in energy sector, new materials, information and communication technologies, and developments in agro-industrial complex. A special attention was given to the commercialization issue and support of emerging business projects.
Хотел бы отметить, что за последние 6-7 лет выдано государству.
I want to know that for the last 6 to 7 years, the government has issued a quite big number of innovative grants, but only a small part of them has been commercialized. This is due to the absence of essential elements in commercialization system such as incubators, venture funds, commerce offices, etc. Thus, the efforts on developing the system of commercialization will be directed at stimulating private business incubators, creating startup teams, and promoting projects.
Продвижение и сопровождение проектов.
In the course of Congress, 26 innovative projects were presented, including alternative energy projects as well. The effective generator of wind energy was developed at Chokin Kazakh Scientific Energy Research Institution. The advantage of this windmill is its focus on chaotic wind flows.
В нашей ветроустановке используются 3 силы для генерации электричества.
Our wind turbine uses 3 forces to generate electricity. Firstly, this is the impulse that the wind gives to the blade, which then revolves the generator. Then in concentrator, the vortex movement of air creates pull for the generator and the natural flow in closed space. In other words, the air goes up under natural conditions. With all this, we produce maximum effect in generating electricity.
У нас максимальный эффект для генерации электричества.
At the next stage of the project, young scientists are planning to cheapen the setup by producing the equipment with the use of local-made details, which will allow for reduction in price by 40%. The idea of building a production plant is already evoking interest among investors. Another project at the Innovative Congress concerns soil irrigation. Rambulat Baikulov, a representative of the Innovative Project, has told us how to reach energy-efficient results.
Наша компания занимается изготовлением вот таких вот замечательных инновационных трубок почвенного капельного орошения.
Our company produces these amazing innovative tubes for drip irrigation of the soil. They're made 70% from worn-out tires. We make powder out of them, and using innovative German technology, we activate it. It turns into rubber powder, and using new technologies, we get this product.
Экструдируем вот такой вот продукт. На этом стенде вы видите, в принципе, здесь функционал.
At this stand, you see the functional already demonstrates that applying the control system, you can reach automated irrigation. The hoses are durable. They retain all of the rubber properties. They do not decay, freeze, tear, and we consider this to be a good solution, and there's decrease in technogenic waste, and at the same time, this is an innovative product.
Хорошее решение, и идет снижение техногенных отходов, и в то же время идет инновационный продукт.
A plant is wrapped with such a hose, and the sensor is set in place, which fixates the level of moisture. Water is used economically because there is no need to water the plant from above. Instead, water is delivered directly to the root system. Automated control of irrigation also makes the system popular among agrarians of Kazakhstan, mostly in southern regions, where they grow fruit and vegetables. The project has other advantages as well.
С помощью нашего шланга также можно 4 функции делать. Собственно, орошение. Второе, если вы в...
Our hose has 4 functions. First and foremost, irrigation. Secondly, it can be used if you want to dilute the fertilizers in water and spread it into the soil. Also, if your soil has condensed and you need to loosen it up, you don't have to do that. You just pound air into the soil using the compressor and aerate the soil. And the last function is unique. If your soil is too damp, you can eliminate the moisture using our special equipment. Thus, the project doesn't simply have a complex approach in terms of irrigating soil, but as well as in terms of artificial soil.
Речь идет вообще о комплексном подходе в орошении почв, и не только почв, но и искусственных грунтов.
Out of all presented startups, the most promising projects signed an agreement and memorandums on technological development cooperation with the national agency.